start off with Mike Hastings here, post-practice, getting ready for Ferris State this weekend. Mike, your thoughts on the weekend and then the upcoming series versus Ferris State?
Hey, you know what? A lot of things happened last weekend. Primarily, real good things. We had some guys that we won't know until later on in today and into tomorrow on our travel day on if they're going to be available. But you know what? For us to find a way to defend our home ice, I thought it was a game on Friday where we might have territorial had an advantage, but the game could have went either way, and we were fortunate to win the game on Friday. And then Saturday, I thought we got off to a lot better start. Our power play, which has been less than stellar going into Saturday, I thought made a difference in the game for us. And it's hard in our league to sweep, and so for us to be able to get back home where we hadn't been to a tremendous amount in the first 6 games and have some success was very important to us. That's in our rearview mirror now, and we're focused on Ferris State, who the last game that they played, they were successful being on the road and playing against a very good Canisius team. So, you know, we're just continuing to try and get better, and now we're going to try and find a way to get some points on the road.
Kevin Dudley, you have the first question.
Hey, Mike. Just wanted to ask about Ferris. I think you played them 6 times last year, and it seemed like almost every game they gave you an absolute battle. What do you see from Bob Daniels' group so far this season?
Well, what you see is, and when I paid attention to Bob a little bit, one personally, we tried to stay in touch a bit over the summer, and I think listening to Bob talk about his club, he feels really good about what they have inside those 4 walls of the locker room. He felt they were going to be a tough out this year, and they have been that. Whether they played Michigan or you looked at their schedule, they played some very difficult games. The series against Michigan State, or excuse me, Western Michigan, was, if you watch those 2 games, you saw that they were very physical, combative type games, and it's going to be no different. Every time we play Ferris, they play fast, they're physical. Things happen real quick in that building. You know, the ice sheet is what the ice sheet is. It's usually really good ice and it's fast, but because of the confines of the rink, it seems like things happen even quicker. The student section, which is one of the best student sections in the country, is right on top of your goaltender for 2 periods each night, and they make it difficult for you to win hockey games in that building. And so, you know, for us, we've got enough on our own plate to worry about what we're doing, and we know Ferris is going to be prepared to try and make sure that we don't get out of there with any points.
Great, thanks for that. Daniel, do you have a question?
Yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about the focus of your team now that you have a few days of practice under your belt after a couple of great wins for the program?
Yeah, you know, Tuesday we took completely off because of the elections, and you know, so it's been a little different week for us. I thought the energy was good on Monday. I thought the energy was good today. You know, and maybe them having that day to just focus on some things that were important to them, and whether it was the elections or whether it was just some rest or whether it was academics. You know, they had that opportunity, and I think our guys took advantage of that because, again, I thought the energy here on Wednesday was really good. And, you know, we're trying to take advantage of that, especially with us turning around with the physical series with Northern, knowing what the series is going to be like physically against Ferris. So hopefully we can get out of here with, you know, a real smooth day tomorrow as far as our travel, and then get in there and try and have a really good Thursday practice to set us up for Friday.
Kevin Dudley, you have a question? I think you're still muted, buddy.
Hello?
Try it again.
No?
I can sort of hear you. I wonder what happened there.
I don't know. Good? I'll shoot away.
Yep.
Mike, Brendan Furry wanted to ask about him. Before the season,
That's what Brendan Furry.
he spoke about, you know, how roles change. I think he seems to be a guy where maybe that happens a little bit. Is he someone who you feel like his role maybe has evolved a little bit from where he was maybe especially at the start of last season to where he is
Kevin, I apologize because I don't know what the deal is with the volume on your microphone there, but we stopped here. And you asked a question. I heard you say something about Brendan Furry, and I'll let Mike talk about Brendan and the great weekend that he had. You named CCHA Player of the Week.
Yeah, and Brendan, you and I have talked a little bit about Brendan over this time here, and one, he had a really good weekend points wise, but for me, that combined with what he did that doesn't show up on the score sheet has really helped elevate him in my eyes, and actually I think the confidence that he's playing with right now, whether he has the puck, whether he doesn't have the puck, offensively, defensively, power play, penalty kill, I feel real comfortable putting him on a dot to win a very important face-off. You saw the last face-off to try and preserve the shutout. He wanted it, and I felt comfortable putting him in that spot because of the confidence that he's playing with. And I think a lot of it's just that, he's a big body guy that's put a lot of time into making sure that he's in a physical position to be able to play significant minutes. And when he's moving his feet, which is something that he is continuing to try to work on, he's a handful. He's a handful for a defenseman because he can, whether if he's got it or he doesn't, he can just impose himself on you because of his foot speed and his hockey sense. He's got a great stick as far as defensively, and I just think he's putting himself in a lot of good spots on the rink. And when you see guys start to emerge a little bit offensively, it seems like the game slows down for him a little bit. He feels like he's making an impact, and so all aspects of his game have continued to get better. It's because of the confidence that he has right now, and I think a lot of that has to do with the work that he's put in. He had gone through 2 years of being injured, and now that he consistently feels a little bit better and has got his body into a point where he can play significant minutes, I think he's really blossoming into being an all-around player that can play in any situation.
Daniel, you have last question here for Mike.
So for Benton Mass, we didn't see him on Friday. Saturday, he comes in, gets a goal, 3 shots on goal in the block. Do we expect to see him this weekend?
Yeah, you'll see Ben. We've been trying to figure out opportunities to give to players that have earned them, and it was his situation was I've got great expectations for Ben, as he does for himself, and I think that was a little bump in the road. I thought he refocused. His last day and a half previous to the weekend was really good. I just want him to be consistent day in and day out, because I think he can be such an effective player offensively, defensively. He's one of our best penalty killers right now, and we're going to need him to continue that into this weekend. But knock on wood, he can stay through Thursday and be ready to play on Friday.
Mike, thanks very much. Good luck against Ferris State.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yep. Joined now by junior center Brendan Furry. Brendan, coming off a really good weekend, first career hat trick against Northern Michigan here in Mankato at the Mayo Clinic Health System Event Center, and of course CCHA Play of the Week. Your thoughts on the weekend and your quick thoughts on this trip we're making to Ferris State as we continue CCHA action?
Well, it's always a good weekend when you can put up the individual numbers, that's for sure. But looking past that, being part, we've talked about it already, something so special with Dragon. So that's really cool. But overall team play, I think we, first showing after an off week, it was a pretty successful weekend. We did what we wanted to do, and we got on them. And I think we just took another step as a team. We still had to fine tune some things this week before we head down to Ferris, but overall a good weekend.
Good, thanks for that. You have questions for Brendan? Kevin Dudley?
Hey, Brendan. I know last year we spoke and early on, it maybe took you a while to get your legs underneath you coming off the off year and the surgeries. How much better do you feel at this point early in this season compared to where you felt, last year, just physically?
Oh, I mean, I think it just kind of shows a little bit. We talked about it. It especially after that year off, it took a while to get your legs going and get used to that college hockey pace. But I think this year, just coming in as an upperclassman, especially trying to take a leadership role for some of the younger guys, there's some confidence there. And that game that we talked about, that ground game that I've instilled in my game. That's kind of been my go-to, is just knowing that I can play 200 feet and be reliable on the ice. So yeah, it's definitely helped me to take a step in my game. And I just plan on not stopping and looking back.
Daniel, you're up.
Hey, Brendan, do you just want to talk a little bit about, I know you already just touched on it a tad bit, but do you want to talk a little bit more about how you're personally going to attack Ferris State this weekend?
Say it one more time.
Do you want to talk a little bit about how you're personally going to attack Ferris State this weekend?
Yeah, it's so their rink's a little smaller. A lot happens quickly there. So I think just we got to get on them, have good sticks. We've emphasized that this week. But just making sure that I think it's a big thing. And when you got a small sheet, you got some big bodies, we can get below them, get below the goal line. A lot of, goal line to blue line, get shots to the net. We talked about it, shooting with a purpose. We got to make sure we keep getting pucks to the net and being a threat from all areas of the ice. So, personally, just going to stick to what I do best, playing below their D and then grinding. And then overall as a team, we got to keep attacking the middle of the ice and keep being dangerous threats and, improving each and every day.
Kevin, you have a follow-up question?
Yep. Brendan, I wanted to ask about Dryden. It seemed like in the final period there, Saturday, that I think coach said that you guys were playing for your goaltender. Talk about maybe that on the bench. Is it something you could feel that everybody was united in wanting to get Dryden across the finish line there at home?
Absolutely. You could tell in the locker room intermission. Everyone talks about you don't want to jinx it and all that stuff, but we just came out third period knowing the situation that we were in, and we just wanted to go out there and play our game, play Maverick hockey. That's all we emphasize all the time, because the only people that can beat us up is ourselves, we think, at this point. So you get that, you kind of hit that like 10-minute mark in the period, and then you're playing for something special, especially in that situation this past weekend. And I think you could tell on the bench, everyone's attitudes changed. The style of play, we wanted to possess the puck. We didn't want Northern to have the puck. So it was really cool to see all the guys buy into that. And I think we all put in a little extra effort just to make sure we defended even harder in that situation.
Daniel, you have the final question.
Coach Hastings just mentioned that you guys took Tuesday off, actually. Do you want to talk a little bit about how you utilized your day off? You just relaxed or did your thing?
Yeah, whenever you get a day off like that, it's it's a little bit of a unique one. But we came in, we got our work done. I don't think any of the guys really used it as a full day off. We came in, we had basically like a little captain's practice, and we had good pace, and we made sure that we were ready to go for today, and especially this coming weekend, because I don't think we can afford a day off right now.
Okay, thanks very much. Appreciate it, Brendan. Good luck this weekend at Ferris State.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks, you guys.
Thanks, PA.
Yep.
Thanks, PA. Hey,